So with my last reaction video, I reacted to the Evolution of Scooby-Doo on TV and in the movies, and I wasn't really pleased with the outcome of what I was watching. Like, I have no hate towards the person who made that video. I'm not trying to spread hate, but for a Scooby-Doo fan and a collector, I wasn't really pleased with how many shows he missed out, and then him showing shows that had no connection to Scooby-Doo, that they were parody spoofs in other shows that were made by completely different art stylists. So what I thought I'd do is make my own Evolution of Scooby-Doo, but this is just going to be the TV series edition. And what that means is that I'm going to go through the Scooby-Doo show list from 1969 to present, so you get a good understanding of what shows were released, what names they were released under when they first came out, and then what syndications they ended up with. It's a bit confusing, so I'm going to try and do this as easy as possible, and it's a good way for new fans out there to watch the old shows and to be able to find them online without the struggle. And as added bonus, collectors who are just starting out can use this information to search around on the web and try to add to their collection. But do keep in mind that not all of these shows came out on DVD box sets. Some episodes only came on VHS. Some episodes didn't actually get full releases on DVD. So you really have to mingle and search around the web to try and find these episodes. Or I like to call them lost episodes, because that's what they are. They came out on VHS but never got imported onto DVD. And when we did get the DVD adaptations, they were only volumes, they weren't complete sets, and many of these are a struggle for collectors out there, even for myself. And if you're trying to go for a full completionist on physical media, yes, you could probably do the DVD one with ease because it's easy to find all the DVD ones, but by God, if you're trying to collect VHS like I'm doing, you'll be there for a struggle. But anyway, enough of that nonsense, let's get in with the video. So starting off our list, we have Scooby-Doo Where Are You?, a show that started in 1969 and ended in 1970, consisted of 2 seasons spanning over 25 episodes. Now keep in mind, at the time these episodes were only 21 minutes long, sometimes longer if you were lucky, and they ran on a Saturday morning cartoon show network, so it was really good at the time. I think the first one was CBS, and then after that it was ABC, and that was only for North America people. In the UK, we didn't really get it until later on. So yeah, for me, growing up in the 90s, it was really amazing time watching this. And what I really like about this one is that you can get this on physical media. I have it on DVD, the complete season 1 and 2. I even have the season 3 on DVD, but again we'll come into that later on. I have the deluxe edition, which is the complete series. Amazing box set, brilliant. And then recently they just released a Blu-ray edition, which came out last year, and it's the Scooby-Doo Where Are You Mystery Mansion set, and it's brilliant. I think it was about £70 to £80 at the time. I think it's lowered, but it's still in that price range. So in all, you can get this on standard DVD and Blu-ray, which is amazing. It took them long enough, but we finally got there. Then in 1972 to 1973, Scooby-Doo returned with the new Scooby-Doo movies. Now this was a new element for Scooby-Doo, like they were really going in. Like, keep in mind, they just released Where Are You? And now they're coming out with the new Scooby-Doo movies. And at the time we were like, what's all this? What's it about? Movies? It's a bit weird, it's a TV show. So what that meant is we had 2 seasons, all containing 24 episodes, and each episode was an hour long. With addition to that extra hour, we also had special guests. Now these varied at the time on which celebrities were out, like the Three Stooges, Stan and Laurel Hardy, Don Knotts, so it's really a matter of your preference choice at the time. And then there was another syndication show that just rebooted this franchise called Scooby-Doo Guess Who, which is the same concept, but except this new one that they've done is half the length, if not less, than the Give It hour long special of what the new Scooby-Doo movies were. So in theory, this show was amazing. 2 seasons, hour long. That was insane. A 24-hour marathon. And the weird thing is, they never actually released this fully as a box set. To this day, it's still not complete. Yes, we may have the almost complete collection, but before that, we only had the very best of the Scooby-Doo Volume 1 for UK people. But in North America, they had the best of the Scooby-Doo movies, which had 15 episodes. Yeah, that's right. We only had 4 of the 15 episodes, and we were left out with the other 11. But then last year they released the almost complete collection. Yeah, the almost complete collection. What that means is we had 23 of the 24 episodes released, and they released them on DVD and Blu-ray. Obviously the Blu-ray contained more episodes than the DVD counterpart, but that's standard because it's Blu-ray. But what's annoying is they didn't get rights for that one episode. So we were one episode short, and still to this day, collectors cannot complete this. And that's not all. They also released the new Scooby-Doo movies Lost Episodes, and they released this at the same time as the almost complete collection because they want people who already owned the 15 episode box set, which was the very best of the Scooby-Doo movies, to have the Lost Episodes to complete their set. In a way that was nice, so they didn't have to pay for the almost complete collection, but why would you buy the Lost Episodes when you could just buy the almost complete collection on Blu-ray? Keep in mind, the Lost Episodes DVD was only released on DVD. There was no Blu-ray adaptation. So if you're going to go for the Blu-ray, go for the Blu-ray. You're going to get more stuff from it. And the episode that's missing is the Wednesday is Missing. Pretty ironic, isn't it? A missing episode has missing in it. Okay, so now we've got those two shows out of the way. This next lineup of shows is where it gets pretty confusing on where you look for the information to find and watch these, because if you don't have prior knowledge, you wouldn't even know about any of these shows. Like, as time goes on, these were forgotten and put under syndication shows. So what I'm going to do to make it a lot more easier, I'm going to name the show the intended title of what it was when it aired on TV for the first time, and then at the end I will tell you the syndication name that they use for these three shows. So in 1976 we had the combined duo of Scooby-Doo and Dynomutt in the Scooby-Doo and Dynomutt Hour. Now this only lasted for one season, but we had 16 of the greatest episodes ever. This crossover was massive. We had 30 minutes of Scooby-Doo, 30 minutes of Dynomutt. Pretty much it was epic. And to add it off, the cherry on the top, we had crossovers between the two. We had Blue Falcon team up with the Mystery Inc. We saw Dynomutt and Scooby-Doo pair off together. You don't get good crossover now. I thought the Batman and Scooby-Doo crossover was epic. No, this was the best crossover. And it only lasted for one season. And if you want to collect this, you can. It is available on DVD as a complete collection for the season, so it's amazing. And I would definitely recommend it for people out there who have not seen it to definitely buy it, or try and get it off iTunes or any other digital store platform like Amazon and that, and buy the season because it is definitely worth watching. Then in 1977 we have Scooby-Doo All-Stars Laff-a-Lympics. Now this was another huge thing back in the day. This was to promote the Olympics, of course, in the name, but also as well, it had a huge crossover of so many other different Hanna-Barbera characters. It was insane. It consisted of 2 seasons, but the second season was called Scooby-Doo All-Stars, and that came out in 1978. Keep that date in mind, because we'll come to that later on in a sec. But basically, Scooby-Doo All-Stars Laff-a-Lympics was season 1. Then season 2 was obviously named All Stars, which came out in 1978. And it was an amazing series, and you can get it on DVD box set. Don't get me wrong, you can get the volumes 1, 2, and you can get Scooby-Doo's Spooky Games, or the other intended release, Scooby-Doo Laff-a-Lympics Spooky Games. So there's 2 versions to get, and that box set contains the bonus Lost episode called Spooky Games, of course. And in the UK we just had the Scooby-Doo Spooky Games DVD release, which had I think 4 episodes and the Spooky Games bonus episode included. And then the American ones had the Scooby-Doo's Laff-a-Lympics Spooky Games, and that contained 15 episodes I believe, with the Spooky Games added bonus. So yeah, the American ones had the better release than the UK one, but still, if you got the money, I would definitely recommend purchasing it because it is one for the ages. So we've already talked about All Stars being in 1978, the second season for Scooby-Doo's Laff-a-Lympics, but there was also another show that came out that year, and it shared the same time slot as All Stars, and that was Scooby-Doo Where Are You? Season 3. And you guys are probably wondering, why is there a season 3? I didn't know there was a season 3, I thought that was a myth. How come it wasn't tied in when I talked about the first 2 seasons? Well, that's because Warner Bros, or the Hanna-Barbera team behind it at the time, were trying to revive Where Are You due to its success. And they planned 9 episodes for the Where Are You. But later they changed their minds. So the 9 episodes that were intended for the revival were instead incorporated into the All-Stars name, and you can get the Where Are You Season 3 as its own DVD box set to complete your series. But those episodes that were released had the Where Are You intro and outro and the style that matched as well. So in a theory, it was the third season that we wanted to, but it was never actually fully published under the name when it aired on TV. It was basically played before the All-Stars block. Now earlier on I talked about syndications, and basically what that meant was shows that aired under a new name at a later date. So basically, like I told you at the start, I grew up in the 90s, so I didn't really know about these names I just talked about. I used to know about the syndicated time slot name that it was known as, and this is referred to as the Scooby-Doo Show. And the Scooby-Doo Show contained the Scooby-Doo and Dynomutt Hour as Season 1, the Scooby-Doo All-Stars Laff-a-Lympics as Season 2, and then Season 3 of the Scooby-Doo Show consisted of Scooby-Doo All-Stars and the Scooby-Doo Where Are You? Yeah, you get me? Yeah, they called that the third franchise in the Scooby-Doo series. As a collector, and there are many others out there, we tried looking for the Scooby-Doo Show, but we could not find any box sets or DVDs relating to it, because there is none. That is right. That show does not exist. It's just a name printed on an airtime slot. That is all. That is the name they called it, and it had its own intro to go with it. So if you want to collect the Scooby-Doo Show, you have to collect the Scooby-Doo Dynomutt Hour DVD, you have to collect the All-Stars Laff-a-Lympics and All-Stars, then you have to collect the Scooby-Doo Where Are You Season 3, and then you have the Scooby-Doo Show. So now that confusion is out of the way, we can move on to our next release. So in 1979 to 1980 we had Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. That's right, the character that I hate the most, and people criticise me for it, but I have good reasons. But also, I don't really hate the character so much. I do appreciate his time on the Scooby-Doo show. I just thought key features about him were annoying. But basically, the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show came out as a way to draw in new audience. They knew that they needed someone new, someone fresh to add to the team. Like, no one wants to see the same thing being played and played again. They want something new. So what better way to bring in a new character? And what new character they bring? A nephew of Scooby-Doo's, called Scrappy-Doo. Now at the time, audience loved this character. Someone new, someone with an attitude, and someone wasn't afraid of monsters. Great, we wanted to see that. You could add more detail and more story and make that character develop into something fresh. But over time, people hate the character. And I could go on about this entirely, but I might save it for another video. But basically, Scrappy was a revival and the downfall of Scooby-Doo. Let's leave it at that. Had its flaws, but also had some good characteristics. And pause. Now this next bit I'm about to talk to you about is the same similar concept with the Scooby-Doo show. So from here on out, I'm going to list the intended shows or what they aired when they first aired on TV, and then I will tell you the syndication plot. It is very confusing, but please keep this in mind because it was the only way for you guys to understand it more clearly. So in 1980 to 1981, we had the Richie Rich and Scooby-Doo show. That is right, another fantastic crossover event. Similar with the same idea with Scooby-Doo and the Dynomutt Hour. This ran for 2 seasons while the other one only lasted for 1, and we had some of the amazing episodes ever. Now keep in mind, these episodes were short, or segments as I like to call it, which is the fancy word of saying short, basically. And there were 60 short segments in total. Similar idea with the Scooby-Doo Dynomutt Hour, you had crossovers with Scooby-Doo and Richie Rich. And to be fair, you do get a box set of this, but it's only volume 1 of the 7 episode, or shorts in this case. And each episode has 3 shorts, keep that in mind. Yeah, when it aired, basically 3 shorts make 1 episode, just keep that in mind. So if 3 shorts make 1 episode, that's 20 episodes for the 2 seasons. But it did not stop there. In 1982, we had another crossover. It was titled The Scooby and Scrappy-Doo / Puppy Dog Hour. It was exactly the same as the Richie Rich and Scooby-Doo and the Scooby-Doo and Dynomutt Hour. It was basically another way of hosting with other shows and trying to bring in new audiences. And this had 1 season with 39 shorts, or segments in this case. So in all, if you add up the Richie Rich shorts and this shorts, there's 99 shorts. Like I said, they didn't actually release a DVD box set for this one, so this is the only one that you cannot get on DVD, and you may have to use extended knowledge to find the episodes on VHS. Some compilation DVDs might have the Puppy Dog Hour episodes, you have to do extended knowledge on which ones and which region codes have one. Keep in mind the UK's and North American releases are different. They have different stuff, added features on them. So again, you can't always guarantee if you buy the UK one, you're going to get all of them. Try and buy both of them and then compare them and see if anyone's different. It's that extended knowledge. You have to go out your way to try and find them, but you cannot get the entire list. You cannot get the entire segments. Now, as I talked earlier, with this being the same syndication as Scooby-Doo show, this was also re-aired later on, but they called it Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. Keep in mind, there's already a season called Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. They didn't even bother coming up with a new name. They retold it and aired it as Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. But the only difference is the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo that came out on season 1, the first one, those were actual episodes. They weren't shorts, they were actual episodes. So when they aired it on TV as the title Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, people were confused when they were seeing shorts rather than episodes, and they were different than their counterparts. But if you knew about it, extended research of what they were, the Richie, Rich and Scooby-Doo, you would understand where those came from. So basically they aired only the Scooby-Doo episodes, not the crossover with Richie Rich. And it's the same with the Scooby-Doo show. So yeah, you have to do very much extended research to even find any of this. And luckily, I did a lot of research and made it as simple as possible. And I still use the guide that I'm reading out now for my collection. So that's why I call it Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, but in brackets, shorts. Because that's what they are. They're 99 shorts, which is incredible. 99 shorts, you know, props to them. And they had the nerve to say the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, this one has 3 seasons. It doesn't have 3 seasons. And they call it the 4th incarnation of Scooby-Doo. It's not the 4th incarnation of Scooby-Doo. It's not even an incarnation. It's not even its own show. You didn't even put no effort into making its own show. You just used it as a syndication plot, which some people call it an umbrella term, which is fair. It still means the same thing. What you done was took these shows and aired them under a new name, and you kept that name throughout history. You didn't even bother de-separating them. You just kept like that. And the nerve is you didn't release a box set to complete them. I know there's some copyright law issues between most of the episodes, but you could have done more effort. You know, it's been a long time. People deserve to see these full box sets. Now, from here on out, the road would be pretty much steady. Like, there would be no confusions or any syndication for that matter. So sit down, grab a glass of milk, grab some Cheerios and enjoy. So in 1983, we had the new Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show. Yeah, that's right. Instead of coming with a new show title, they just put Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, but they put new in the middle. The new Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show. So basically this consisted of 1 season, and it had 13 episodes. And basically it was the same, similar concept of the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show, of Scooby, Shaggy and Daphne and Scrappy-Doo solving mysteries, and then on the odd occasion you get Fred and Velma joining in. But then in 1984 they released the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries, which was meant to be season 2 of the new Scrappy-Doo show. Yeah, that's right. You want to know why they changed the name? Have a guess. Scrappy-Doo. That's right. They changed the name to the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries because of Scrappy-Doo. Because as I talked earlier, Scrappy-Doo was also the rise of Scooby-Doo and also the downfall, because he brought in new audiences, but then those audiences got fed up with him, and then the ratings dropped. So what did they do for this second season? They re-aired it under a new name. And what new name did they choose? The new Scooby-Doo Mystery. But keep in mind, the episodes were already done and printed for the new Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show. Why? Just air it as the new Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show season 2. And make a new season called the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries. You're already fucked up. I'm sorry, but I don't normally like to swear anymore, but you just did. What's really weird is when you try and find this online, you have to search for the new Scooby-Doo show, and in there it will have the list of episodes, and for some reason they say season 2 is the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries. That's just proof that it was intended for that show. So it's not even its own independent shows. You can't call this another incarnation or something of Scooby-Doo, because it's not. It's part of the new Scooby-Doo show. And that is why you can't find the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries on DVD. And you can't even find the new Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show on DVD. You can't. So you have to do extended research to find any of the home media releases. And some of them VHS, some of them compilation DVDs. And even then, after all that, You don't have all the episodes. Okay, with all the confusion, all the headaches over the shows and the syndications, we can now take a breather, relax, and be like, from here on out, it's straightforward. In 1985, we had 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. Pretty much the amazing series. Like, literally, how this did not get a season 2 is beyond me. But it did have a movie, which was the sequel for this series, but it flopped, so let's not talk about that one. Now keep in mind, it did feature Scrappy-Doo, Scooby-Doo, Shaggy and Daphne. Introduced new characters such as Flim Flam, a pickpocket thief, and Vincent Van Gogh, which is basically a sorceress in this film. And I even like the entire opening. The first pilot episode is pretty much amazing, how Shaggy and Scooby get tricked into opening the chest, and then they have to spend the next remaining 12 episodes pretty much hunting down the ghosts that they captured to return him to the chest of demons. And then at the end you find out that they're missing one extra ghost, and this led every theory, literally every 4-month theory is about people going, who is the 13th ghost, why did they forget it, who is it, like how is it going to make a comeback, are they going to do a season 2, to the point where we had a movie about a sequel. We don't talk about the movie because it was shit. It ruined it. In fact, it didn't make no sense at all. You just basically crossed our dreams, and then you had Velma say we were all hallucinating high altitude, which is bullshit. If anyone's ever been up high altitude, you do not hallucinate like they did, unless you're on drugs. But again, that's another topic for another time, so I'll talk about that. And you can get this on DVD, and I've heard there is a combo pack released now, but it's only available in the US, and it contains the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo and the actual Curse of the 13 Ghosts movie, which is quite good, but weird how it's only released in the US and I can't seem to find it in any UK shop retailers or on the UK store. Then in 1988 to 1991 we had a Pup Named Scooby-Doo, and this came out a few years before I was born, so when I watched this I thought this was the origins, and it was meant to be the origins, but when you look into it more in detail it doesn't really scream origins, it just like screams another milk tank. I think at the time there was a lot of shows doing this sort of work where you do the kids versions of it, and I think that was popular. I think that was the theme or something, because I remember other shows doing it as well. I just can't think of the names of, but I remember other shows doing this similar style, and I thought that was a trend, so I don't really think of it as an origin story, but they tried their hardest to do it as an origin story, but as time went on you saw it flop with every new season. In fact, some of the seasons are jokes, and I'm just going to explain the seasons for you. So season 1 had 13 episodes, season 2 had 8, season 3 had 3 episodes, 4 if you conclude that one of them was a 2-parter. Then season 4 had another 3 episodes, but then you could say 5 if you count that 2 of them were 2-parters. So yeah, overall 30 episodes sucked. And if you think about it, why do season 3 and 4 with those episodes? Why not combine them and make an actual decent effort for once? Or, in matter of fact, combine 3 and 4 with number 2, and then you just do it as a season 1 and 2 combo pack. You didn't need to make a season 3 and 4. In fact, if you knew you were only going to make 3 or 4 episodes for season 3, why the hell did you make season 4? And I think this is what stopped Scooby-Doo for a while. I think this was at his breaking point. They did everything at that point. They did the movies, they did them with other new characters bringing in work, and now they did crossovers, and now they did them when they're young. Where is there to go next? 11 years later, keep in mind that number, 11 years later, we got What's New Scooby-Doo. And it aired from 2002 to 2006. A long break for a Scooby-Doo show, but it was revived by the Scooby-Doo direct-to-video movies. It first started with Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, and then The Witch's Ghost, then Alien Invaders, and then Cyber Chase. And I think those 4 combos brought back the fan base of Scooby-Doo. So in a way, we had some Scooby-Doo in between those 11 years, but I think with the help of Zombie Island in general, it boosted the morale and got the fan base back. They knew they needed something to restart their engines, and the Zombie Island franchise really did it. Like, the zombie genre at the time was on point. There was a lot of zombie movies, and it was astonishing that Scooby-Doo would pick up on that and use it as the basis to make a movie, a TV special, or direct-to-video special, should I say, and actually make it so it revived. Like, literally, at that point, they saved the franchise. And from there on out, Scooby just keeps on giving and doesn't give up. It survives to this day, and it reaches new heights. So What's New Scooby-Doo ran for 3 seasons, and they were the best episodes ever. If I had to pick my top 3 series, it's this one makes on the list. What's New Scooby-Doo had 42 of the greatest episodes, and they're all unique, and I used to love coming home and watching that on the network, like a TV. It was amazing. Like, it's so hard to explain. Like, the character development, like, the more work you saw between them, they had new ideas. Like, you just saw a spark that you haven't seen in a long time, and it's that kind of spark that I like. I remember watching the Scooby-Doo marathon while growing up, and I saw all the great classics, and I thought, you know what, Scooby-Doo's never going to get better than this one, until I saw What's New Scooby-Doo. Then in 2006 to 2008, we had Shaggy and Scooby Get a Clue. Now, this was another series that I didn't find out till 2010. Yeah, it was pretty weird. I don't know how I missed this, but I must have been preoccupied with school and college, or going into college, so I didn't really pay attention to this on the network channel, on Cartoon Network. So I didn't really know about it till 2010 when I started looking more into the new series at the time. So yeah, Scooby-Doo Get a Clue had 2 seasons, 26 episodes. Weirdly enough, I never really could watch it all in one setting, mainly because of the art style. It used to give me some headaches to some degrees. Don't get me wrong, it felt like I was watching a comic book come to life. It had a unique character. It was basically mainly focused around Shaggy and Scooby, where they were like doing their own investigations, and it was a bit like a continuation story. You had their own villain. I would say it was on par with Kim Possible, like that style. Like, not the style of animation, but that style of directed story, and that, like, where the teenager saves the world from a maniac villain. And Scooby and Guess Who had that same chemistry. You had a villain, and basically now Shaggy and Scooby were the heroes in that sense. But you also had the other gang, like Fred, Daphne and Velma. So you still had the mystery incorporated, but you knew the main focus was at Scooby and Shaggy, not with the rest of the group. All in all, I liked watching the show. It's just that it gave me headaches while I was trying to watch at the time, and I haven't really gone back to it since. So it's another series I have to really get back into. I don't know if it's released on a complete box set. That's the weird thing. Like, most of these new ones that come out now, they don't get full releases, and it's real pain. Like, in this day and age, you would have thought they would have released it on home media. They know they're going to get the sales, but I don't know why they keep doing it. One day these might be lost to time, and, you know, physical media or digital, we just need them. Then in 2010 to 2013 comes my greatest Scooby-Doo series. This is pretty much on par with What's New Scooby-Doo. It's Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, and many people don't like this series, and I understand that. You're all to your opinion. You allowed your opinion, and I respect it. But for me, I personally quite like the art style, like the actual tone on the environment and what Scooby-Doo was set in. It felt like a more dark tone in a way. It just had that rich vibe about it that just really seemed necessary to watch. With every new episode, it was a continuation on the storyline. So you just want to keep watching to find out what was happening in the next one and the next one and the next one. And that's what I love. If you add a continuation storyline in Scooby-Doo, I think it works really well. So I really wish they would keep that vibe of a continuation storyline. It feels like we're watching their day-to-day life. And in a way, we're watching them solve mysteries and also growing up as well, and seeing more character development with each of the cast. There was a time where seasons 2 was at a hiatus, like we didn't know it was coming back, and then they finally did the season 2. Then it was broken up into 2 parts. You had season 2 part 1 and season 2 part 2, and it was really confusing how they did that, but finally we had the season 2, and then we go to finally finish the season, because what I really hate is when they stop halfway and you don't get to see the rest of those episodes. So it was really great that they brought back that series and finished it. But the biggest surprise for me, and this is a spoiler alert, was the cliffhanger at the end of season 2. It's one of the best cliffhangers ever, and I really hope that if they, down the line, they ever think about bringing back a season 3 for this show, I really hope they pretty much keep that same chemistry that the first 2 seasons had, and keep at it for a third season, and don't demolish it or diminish it in some way where it just like goes down. Like you just feel like you just got your hopes up for this revival and it's just sunk straight to the bottom of the quicksand pile. Then in 2015 to 2018 we had the Be Cool Scooby-Doo. One of the most amazing, funniest comedy series ever. I never laughed so much in my life. Every single episode brought joy to my heart. I laughed hysterically to the point where tears came out. Like I never really knew Scooby-Doo can go for the comedy approach, but this series they took a new art style approach like they always do with every new show, and they really worked on the character development of each of the characters, giving their own hijinks, their own personality, something for you to relate to. In Mystery Incorporated we had Fred with his traps, and then in this one we had Daphne with her hijinks, and it was amazing. In fact, everyone in that show, Be Cool Scooby-Doo, had their own unique style they brought to the table, so you knew every single episode was fresh, and by God, I can watch it again now and just pretty much laugh out with laughter. It was amazing. I think Daphne captures that season. Like, that's her series, that's her moment. It's just her hijinks. By God, it's like, oh wait, what's the next episode? I'm like thinking, oh, what's her hijink for today? What's she doing? Is she going to be Fred? Is she going to be a 007? Is she going to be an astronaut? Is she going to be a puppeteer? It's like, you never know what you're going to get. It's amazing. Love it. Now this next one came out in 2019, and it's the current Scooby-Doo show of the dates of the time I'm doing this recording, and it's Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. It has 2 seasons. The season 2 is currently in works, being aired. It's not out on the UK yet. We're still a few episodes behind everyone else. If you don't know what Scooby and Guess Who is, it's basically a reboot of the new Scooby-Doo movies, but instead of being a traditional reboot meeting the same features of hour-long episodes, we have 21 or 25-minute episodes. For a 20 to 25-minute episode, it's not really worth it because you don't really get a lot of time to work with the new stars that they bring in. You don't get time to know them or make their character develop for new ones who don't know who they are. Instead, you rush into it. Supposedly, you're supposed to know who they are, and then by the time you greet and meet, you end up solving a mystery, and then that's it. That's the episode. Whereas in the new Scooby-Doo mysteries, you spent more time with the gang, with those stars, and you heard more about them. They told what they are and what they do, and they show a bit about what their skills and that. Whereas this one, you don't really get to see that same oomph. Don't get me wrong, they are nice to watch and they are quite fun and that, but some of them don't really have no passion in the voice that they're trying to do. They just want to get it done and over with, and then the episode gets a bit boring and it doesn't really last that long. Like the Sherlock Holmes one, like that episode one, even though he's a fictional character, I like how they mixed with fiction and non-fiction, but the same thing is, though, they made him so British-like, it just made it look awful. Like, yeah, I get it, I'm British, but I don't speak posh, and not everyone in UK speaks the British tone. And if you look more into it, like Sherlock Holmes, like out of all the movies that has Sherlock Holmes in, he doesn't really have that British outspoken tone. So yeah, that was really killed it for me. But overall the series is good, but I just wish it was a bit longer episodes if you had more character development with the stars. But other than that, it's an alright reboot. But yeah, that is the Evolution of Scooby-Doo TV show edition. I do hope you guys have enjoyed. Really been working hard on this one. I had to do extended research, so I really quite like doing this one. I hope to do more in the future. If you enjoyed today's video, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try and post more out, or other stuff you want me to do. I'm not having hate on other people doing their own evolutions, but I thought I'd give my own take with a bit of commentary so you guys can understand what the shows were, and if you're trying to watch them or collect them, you now have a basic guide on how to do that. At the end of the video, I will list on screen the shows in intended order, so for people who are confused with me explaining can see it all laid out, to make it more simple for you guys. But anyway, overall, I do hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please make sure to support by liking the video, subscribe to my channel. When you do subscribe, please tick that bell to turn on post notifications to keep updated with all new videos from me, and I'll see you next time. But until then, take care.